aspects in traditional astrology, and each aspect will form a certain energy. And the two planets that are in the different houses will combine together to create a certain energy. So let's look at these 5 aspects. A conjunction is when you have 2 planets in the same house. The energy that that conjunction will create for you in a natal chart depends on the planets. We then have a sextile, which is 60 degrees apart. It has the vibe of Venus, meaning the 2 planets that are sextiling each other will have a Venus-type energy. So sextiles are good. We have a square, which is 90 degrees apart, has the vibe of Mars, meaning that these 2 planets may clash and need to adjust and are basically not stable together. There's going to be some sort of difference that they have to adjust to and agree to. So a square is not a great aspect. It's an aspect that you will have to work at to bring good out of it, but you absolutely can bring good out of a square. Then you have a trine, which is 120 degrees. This vibe is a very positive vibe. In fact, the trines are the best aspects. It's got the energy of Jupiter. We know that Jupiter lifts up, supports, and steadies. So 2 planets that are in trine to each other are forming a great energy together. And then we have the opposition, which is when 2 planets are in the opposite zodiac signs in your natal chart. And this is a Saturn vibe. And we know that Saturn at times can be challenging. So when you have an opposition, you have a challenge there between those 2 planets, but it is a challenge to be overcome and to be better for it. So a conjunction, as I said, is when 2 planets are in the same sign. A sextile is when a planet is in one sign and a planet is in another, and they're 2 signs apart. A square is 3 signs apart. A trine is 4 signs apart, and an opposition is 6 signs apart. So let's pretend like we have a planet in Leo. If we have an opposition to Leo, we would have a planet also in Aquarius. If we had a conjunction, we would have 2 planets in Leo. If we had a sextile, we would have a planet in Leo and a planet in Libra. If we had a square, we would have a planet in Leo and a planet in Scorpio. If we had a trine, we would have a planet in Leo and a planet in Sagittarius. An aspect can be exactly to the degree within an orb of 5 degrees, applying when it's moving closer, or separating when it's moving apart. We'll learn about that later. To get specific, a conjunction, as I said, is when 2 planets are in the same sign, they're intermingling, they will have the same element, same modality. You can think of them as like being in a 3-legged race, 2 people joining up together. A sextile is 60 degrees apart, they cooperate. The signs will be of the same gender, and it may show you a possible gift or a skill that you have. In this example, we have Mars in the 3rd house is sextiling the Sun, and is also sextiling Mercury. In this example, we're looking at a square. There's tension and there's an adjustment that needs to happen when you have a square. Squares have the same modality, but the elements are different. In this example, we have Saturn squaring Venus and the Moon. If you have two planets trining each other, they're 120 degrees apart, and they definitely support each other. This is the best aspect. In this chart, we have Jupiter forming a trine to Venus and to the moon. Let's go over the other aspects. We have Saturn in the first house in Sagittarius, forming a sextile to Mars. We have Saturn forming a square to Venus and the moon. We have Saturn forming a trine to the Sun and Mercury.